The world teaches men that strength means endurance, the ability to take a hit, stay quiet, and keep moving. From the first scraped knee to the last heartbreak, many men are told that pain is proof of power and that vulnerability is a kind of failure. But beneath that armor of self-control, something far quieter begins to die: connection. What starts as a performance of strength often ends as a slow collapse into loneliness. This is the silent tragedy of modern masculinity, and it hides in plain sight. Think of John Wick. His story begins with loss, the death of his wife, and the cruel theft of the one living reminder of her love. But instead of reaching outward for comfort, he turns inward, sealing himself inside a world of ritual, violence, and control. His silence is not serenity, it's survival. Every bullet he fires is an attempt to make sense of grief in a language he's been taught to speak: aggression. Wick's stoicism looks powerful, but it's hollow. It's a fortress with no door, a monument to the idea that pain must be carried alone. His world is full of rules, codes, and efficiency, but empty of warmth. He is a man surrounded by people, yet profoundly alone. Now shift to Fight Club. Here, the problem isn't silence, but substitution. The men in the basement, stripped of names and jobs, try to reclaim their sense of self by fighting each other. They confuse violence with vulnerability, mistaking bruises for intimacy. The narrator and Tyler share something that feels like brotherhood, but it's an illusion. Their bond is built not on empathy, but on shared anger, the only emotion they've been taught to express freely. They don't talk about their fear of failure, their need for meaning, or their hunger for closeness. They hit each other instead. The pain becomes the language of connection, but it's a dialect that only deepens their isolation. Both Wick and Fight Club's narrator are trapped in the same paradox: men who can destroy entire worlds but cannot say, "I'm lonely." Psychologist Daniel Levinson described this as the intimacy crisis, a stage in adult male development where closeness becomes not just desirable but necessary for growth. Yet, because so many men equate vulnerability with weakness, they face that moment unprepared. Instead of reaching for friendship, they reach for control. They chase mastery, achievement, or adrenaline, anything that distracts from the quiet ache of emotional distance. Over time, their friendships grow shallower. Banter replaces honesty. Teasing replaces trust. Eventually, connection feels impossible, and solitude begins to look noble. This is how the cultural myth of strength sabotages male friendships. It rewards distance and punishes need. Men are taught to bond through shared activity, sports, games, jokes, but rarely through shared feeling. When one man tries to open up, the moment often collapses under discomfort or humor. "You'll be fine, man," replaces "I get it." And so the silence continues. It's not that men don't crave closeness. They do. But they've been taught that to depend is to diminish. The tragedy is that this suppression doesn't make them stronger. It makes them strangers to themselves. The cost of this emotional exile is high. Studies on male loneliness show that men often experience fewer deep friendships as they age, and many report having no one they can confide in about personal struggles. They compensate through productivity, discipline, or even aggression, emotional outlets that society rewards. But behind every "I'm good, bro" often hides exhaustion, fear, or sadness. The Wick archetype, the man who endures everything alone, is admired because he doesn't ask for help. Yet, that ideal is a trap. It glorifies suffering and disguises emptiness as strength. What's especially painful is how these expectations turn potential friendships into silent rivalries. Men are conditioned to measure worth through comparison. Who's tougher, more successful, more in control? Emotional honesty, the very thing that could deepen those relationships, becomes taboo. The result? Many male friendships stay frozen at the surface level. Fun, familiar, but fragile. When real life hits, loss, divorce, depression, those friendships often crack, revealing how little emotional foundation existed beneath the surface. But not all is lost. Rebuilding these bonds doesn't require grand gestures or therapy jargon. It starts small, with honesty, asking, "Hey, are you really okay?" and meaning it. Responding with truth instead of performance. Giving a friend space to talk without trying to fix them. These simple moments of openness chip away at decades of conditioning. True strength, after all, isn't the ability to carry pain alone. It's the courage to share it. When we redefine strength as connection, something powerful shifts. We begin to see vulnerability not as a fracture, but as a bridge. Wick's story of solitude becomes a warning, while Fight Club's false brotherhood becomes a mirror. Both reveal what happens when emotion is suppressed and expression turns violent. The answer isn't to abandon strength, but to broaden it, to include empathy, patience. Real strength is quiet, but not silent. It's the moment a man says, "I need help," or "I miss you," and lets that truth live outside himself. It's in choosing connection over pride, trust over performance. Because in the end, the world doesn't need more men who can fight alone. It needs men who can stand together, unarmored, unashamed, and unafraid to care.